Do you have an inkling that Secretary Yusek Cabral wanted to be a whistleblower because she gave you some evidence?
Yes, I hope I can share that she wanted to be state witness and was, to my knowledge, not being offered to be state witness.
Heto, real talk lang ho mga kababayan at para dito kay Congressman Leviste. Kung wala din lang naman ho nga kulang-kulang 200 milyong isosooli, itong si former DPWH Undersecretary Cabral dyan sa DOJ, talagang hindi ho siya makakatanggap ng protekta dito sa administration ng mga adik. Ito ho ang pinaka-latest na balita kaugnay dyan sa WPP program na yun ng DOJ. Ex-DPWH Engineer Alcantara returned 71 million admitted to Witness Protection Program. Palakpakan! Para doon sa mga gustong maprotektahan ng Estado, sa mga kabalbalan na nangyari sa mga nakalipas sa panahon, magsuuli lang ho kayo ng kulang-kulang sa 200 milyong piso dyan sa DOJ para mering-meri ang Christmas na mga magnanakaw sa pamahalaan. Kaya, magsuoli lang ho kayo. Nasaan na yung sinuoli? Saan napunta yung sinuoli? Sigurado ba ho kayo dumiretso yun sa ano? Sigurado ba ho kayo bago nag-roll ang mga camera 71 million lang talaga ang sinuoli dyan sa DOJ? Di ba? Nakakasiguro ho ba kayo yung laman ng mga bagahe o maletang dinala dyan sa DOJ bago presenta yung 71 million na yan? 71 million lang ho ba talaga? Sa sobrang magnanakaw ng mga nasa pamahalaan, anak ng towa, kung 110 million yan, kagaya nung unang isinuoli, hindi na ho natin alam. Di ba? Yan ang problema sa pagsusuoli ng pera. Ginawang business ng mga walang yang opisyal ng pamahalaan, yung pagsusuoli ng pera na yan. Ito real talk kasi ito Hindi naman natin alam kung talagang 71 million lang ang dala-dala ng mga tauhan ni Alcantara dyan sa DOJ noong presenta nila yung bulto-bultong pera na yan sa lamesa. Yung pagpupresenta ng pera na yan dyan sa DOJ, walang kaibahan sa pagpupresenta ng pera doon sa opisina ng DPWH dyan sa Bulacan First District Engineering Office. Walang kaibahan yan. Yung pa-picture-picture ng pera, walang kaibahan yan. Hindi ho tayo nakakasiguro kung talagang 71 million lang ba. Ano ba naman yung binawasan ng 2 bundle ilinagay sa ilalim ng lamesa at pinaghati-hatian pagkatapos? Yan ho yung mga posibilidad. Kaya meron hong proseso sa pagsusuoli ng pera para transparent at talagang hindi lang for optics at propaganda. O sa bagay, para dito kay Alcantara, mahal-mahal ng WPP na yan. Sa bagay, alangan na mga mamagsat kang kagaya nitong si Sara Diskaya, di ba? O magsuoli ka na lang ng kulang-kulang na baka 220 million na talaga yung nasa all-in yan. Yung pangalawang pagpupresenta ay 71 million na lang. Ba't may gansal? Anak ng tawa ako, magpapasaoli ng pera. Ba't ako magagansal lang 1 milyon? Isasarado ko yan na 75. Isarado nyo yung 75 million para magandang tingnan sa camera, di ba? Ang problema ko mga kababayan, 71 million lang daw. Di natin pinaparatangan DOJ dito kung sino pa man. Ang sinasabi natin dito, kaya merong proseso, yung restitution na yan at hindi bara-bara na pagka gusto magdala ng pera sa DOJ, ganun-ganun na lang tatanggapin. O baka meron silang ibang pakay. Dito sa video na to, pag-uusapan natin ang interview nitong si Congressman Leviste na kung saan nagpahayag itong si dating DPWH Undersecretary Cabral na interesadong pumasok sa state witness itong alin na to, pero tinigil yung Blue Ribbon Committee hearing Hindi na nakapagsalita yung alin, nag-build up na yung pressure sa utak niya Yun, tumalon. Ito, panoorin mo natin ang interview nitong si Congressman Leviste. Para dito kay Alcantara, nang toka. Pambihira Ano lang yan barya lang yan sa bilyong tinatrabaho nyo Nakakapagpatalo nga kayo ng daan-daang milyon sa casino, di ba? Para malinis yung pera. Di ba? Ito naman mga to. Mabababaw talaga kaligayahan ng mga opisyal nitong si Bangag. Hindi natin alam. Baka 500 million pala yan. Nung una, nasa 300 million. Iprenesenta lang 110 million. Ito naman, nasa 110 million. Iprenesenta lang 71. Hindi natin alam. Hindi natin alam sa totoo lang. Yung optics picture, yung propaganda, walang kwenta yun. Yung behind the scene, hindi naman natin alam kung ano talaga. Nakaharap ba yung media nung binibilang yung pera? Hindi. Nakaharap ba yung pera nung ibababa yung mga pera mula sa sasakyan ni Alcantara papasok dyan sa DOJ? Kaya merong proseso yung restitution. Iko-compute kung magkano yung ninakaw at yun ang ibabalik. Hindi yung bara-bara kagaya ng ipinapakita na yan ng DOJ. Sino na naman lugi dito? Sambayan ng Pilipino. Ang sasabihin niya ni Alcantara, nagsaoli na ako ng pera. Kaya kahit gaano pa karami yung ninakaw ko, yun na yun. Ha?
Congressman Leviste, welcome to the big story.
Good evening.
Well,
Tambay lang ho tayo. Chill lang tayo dito sa video na to. Nakapag-all out na tayo dito kay Alcantara. Yun na yun.
do you have an inkling that Secretary Yusek Cabral wanted to be a whistleblower because she gave you some evidence?
Yes, I hope I can share that she wanted to be state witness and was, to my knowledge, not being offered to be state witness.
Sorry, can you say that again?
She wanted to be state witness and she was not being offered to be state witness.
She was not being offered. She
And
She
If I can-
intimated this to you.
No, this is what I was told, but I actually also just received an official statement purportedly from her family that I also shared with your producer right before this show, that also wanted to put on the record that not only was no case ever filed on her, but that it was regrettable that even if no case was filed, she was repeatedly dragged in what appears to be a public shaming campaign by persons who have since capitalized on the issue for political gain. And they also clarify that she was not even formally invited.
Sino yung mga nagka-capitalize na yan sa issue? Bakit siya ginawang pinapahiya sa sa publiko? Sino si Ping Lacson ba yan? Anak ng Petrang Garapata, ito talagang si Ping. Sabi ko na sa'yo, Ping, kung tinuloy mo yung hearing sa Blue Ribbon Committee, kaya nagdadaldal yan si Ping Lacson, ramdam niya. Kung inimbitahan niya, pinagsalita niya, baka hindi ganito naging resulta ng nangyari kay Cabral.
To attend the hearing at the ICI this Monday, even if this was already in the newspapers.
That wasn't true.
That is what the official statement purportedly from their family that the police now says.
All right. Take us back to your initial dealing with Yusek Cabral. You say that she wanted to be state witness. How did she convey this to you?
This was not conveyed to me directly, but if I can share the following. After I met with her and obtained documents on the list of proponents in the DPWH budget, it was conveyed to me that she wanted to share more information.
Nako!
And I was thinking that we were going to be getting more information, but I think she was affected, of course, by the public attention, even if there were not as much actually being done on the legal side. And then that led, I think, to yesterday's events, because I think what the statement that has just been released implies that it is unfortunate that she was dragged into a public shaming campaign by persons who have since capitalized on the issue for political gain. Was that the press conference at the DPWH
Hindi, si Ping. Hindi, nasama sa niya, sa privilege speech niya. Ito anong tawag dito? Itong si Bulol. Itong si Vince Dizon. Isa pa yan.
yesterday morning may have not been coincidentally on the same day that yesterday's events happened.
Okay, the way you are conveying to us is there was a conduit between the two of you. Did I understand it right? You were not speaking to her directly, but there was a bridge.
I went to her office twice, and in those instances and in instances subsequent to that, had also talked with her. But the more recent communications I'm talking about were not directly with her, that's right. So if you want to discuss the interactions that I had on the documents, those were given to me on September 4, and they pertain to the proponents in the DPWH budget.
Okay. On September 4, you met with her personally.
Yes.
Why was
And-
she... Okay, go ahead, continue.
And even after then, she's been attending the hearings in Congress and the Senate, and that's one of the other things that the official statement that was just released wants to make clear that she was cooperating with the investigation, and that's why it's unfortunate that someone who had so much information and could have been a very useful witness was not given the opportunity to share everything that she knew.
Okay,
The list that she had given you on September 4, you mentioned that you gave this to the ICI as well. The ICI had no such list, that it had to
I
come
sure-
from you?
I showed it to them on November 18, and they went to office in Congress on November 19, and the Ombudsman's field investigation team also came to my office on November 26, and they said it was the first time that they saw this list, because as I think I also mentioned before, the ICI's team visited the DPWH central office in early September and said that her office was cordoned off, and they were not given any of the internal files from her computers. And then when they eventually came to her office after the ICI was formed in later September, the computers that had these files were no longer there.
Kong, can we clarify, because the last time we spoke to you, we asked you if she indeed gave you a copy of all the files. Can you confirm that you have a copy of all the files with the proponents in them that is only part of her personal documentation? And do you have a complete list? The last time you were saying that you wanted authorities to get a hold of the computers. But do you have in your possession a copy, and did you just show it to the ICI, or did you share another copy with them?
Yes, I have the list of the proponents in the DPWH budget, and I was focusing on Congressman Garjola because that was the subject of our general discussion. But of course, out of the entire budget, there are many other proponents than just Congressman Garjola. I want to explain that there's the allocable and non-allocable. And the allocable is 401 billion pesos in the past two budgets, and it was also a system that was invented by no less than Home Undersecretary Cabral, and the non-allocable outside of this 401 billion pesos are projects that cannot immediately be identifiably from a proponent, if not for the internal files of the DPWH. And that's, I think, why it's important that the information of former Undersecretary Cabral be released, because there's so much public fascination on who are the proponents of DPWH projects. And here is a document from a government agency that evidences that basically outside of the first 401 billion pesos in the DPWH budget, there are other people that are picking projects that are parked into congressmen's districts.
She acknowledged to you that she designed the allocable program?
Yes, that is not a non-public information, because she had said so in congressional hearing, and she gave me a printout with a explanation for how what she called the EBDN formula worked, but the explanation was more of a narrative of factors, but not an equation. And because there are small districts that have big budgets compared to big districts that have small budgets, I think we can safely say there is not really a strict formula for the budgets. But they actually created this system of allocable so as to distinguish the non-allocable. The non-allocable being the projects that include the so-called leadership fund, that their files can tell you who decided what projects are in the leadership fund.
So do you have also the files on the non-allocable funds?
Yes.
Do you have, apart from you, who else has a hard or soft copy of these files?
I'm sure the DPWH does.
Okay, what about the ICI? Where you just show them? You said earlier I showed them a copy, but you did not say I shared with them a copy or gave them a copy. So I'm assuming you just showed it to them, but did not actually give them a whole set of copies?
Okay. Yes, I showed it to them in their office, and then they came to my office, and then their team went through it in further detail because they wanted to know who are the proponents of the 421 or so ghost projects that they have been focusing their field inspections on. And they didn't ask for a copy, and they didn't come back to
So
have information about it.
the question is, why was she so willing to disclose this to you? Why was she
Because-
open?
I persistently asked for it, and I first came to her office in June when I was newly elected to understand why districts like mine have smaller allocable budgets than smaller districts. And to me, it's a very important question and not simply something that we should accept, that there are billions of pesos being given to places with smaller populations.
Was this
But-
before the SONA of the president?
was in June. So it's something that I took interest in from a general policy perspective, but also one that affects my district and every congressman's district, because I think people just are shy to ask why this is the budget, but it's I think very needing to be asked question, who decides that one district gets 5 billion and one district gets 1 billion pesos a year.
Okay.
Do you mind, Kong, why do you think this list has not been made public? Why do you think the ICI never asked you for a copy? I mean, I would like to ask you for a copy because I think everybody is curious, and it seems like this would unlock a lot of questions and solve maybe some of the mysteries that we are facing with this case.
Not surprisingly, there are many politicians who are on the list, because the assumption anyway is that congressmen and senators insert projects into the DPWH budget, although this is not officially admitted by the DPWH in the net. But the perhaps less expected thing is that there's also other people outside of the legislature that insert projects into the budget based on the names in the list. This includes not only cabinet secretaries but even undersecretaries. And I think it shows that flood control was really used as a form of compensation for people. I'm sorry to put it in those terms, but I think the disclosure of the list will show that there are people who have nothing to do with flood control that are somehow, according to the list, assigning in what place to plan flood control projects.
Congressman, can this list be considered the smoking gun to prove that the lawmakers' proponents indeed have anomalous dealings when it comes to infrastructure projects? Because on the contrary, they can claim that it's just a list.
Well, first I would like to hear what the DPWH has to say about even acknowledging the existence of the list. That's why it's helpful that the media is bringing attention to this, because it's, I think, very reasonable to ask that this be officially commented on.
Well, following, Congressman, following the untimely passing of Yusek Cabral, what do you think the implication of that will be on the investigation into flood control projects? And is there anyone else who shares the same amount of knowledge as Yusek Cabral did?
Well, there are people who are in her office who are still in DPWH. And there are also people in Congress that are reported to be handling insertions at the Congress level. But when I was in the ICI, I actually asked them, and they said that Yusek Cabral probably knew more than even Secretary Bunuan, and certainly more than Roberto Bernardo. And that's why it was conspicuous that she was not granted the same platform in the hearings to share what she knows, and that perhaps by us, in their own words, publicly shaming people like her, they were actually and eventually irreversibly discouraging them to share the information that they had.
Do you suspect foul play in her death?
I'm not in the best position to answer that, but I think there's also a report that she was emotionally affected by recent events, and of course people can just draw their own conclusions, but it's certainly not easy to go through all of this public attention even before a formal case is filed on you.
Congressman, with the new leadership in the DPWH, are you saying that they are not inclined to go deep into this scandal?
And also, have you approached Secretary Vince with this list?
Secretary Dizon
Yes.
was on the phone when I was meeting with Undersecretary Cabral on September 4 and authorized the release of the list to me. And I thought that after it was officially released to me, that it would be given to other agencies of government like the Ombudsman and the ICI, and even released to the public. That's why I'm waiting for this to be officially commented upon.
Okay. So the implication is that there are powerful people who are preventing this list from coming out?
Well, presumably the people who are on the list don't want it to come out, and there are many people in the legislature and outside of it who are on the list.
How far up does the list go, Congressman?
Well, the list doesn't entirely consist of people's names, but there's a code name, for example, like leadership, and that would have a large amount of projects attached to it, including some of the projects that are constructed by some of the people who I've named previously in my own district. I would move it then to the DPWH to explain who is leadership.
All right. I just
Nako, matindi ho yun mga kababayan. Merong sa listahan, merong leadership. Sino yung leadership? Si Martin Romualdez? Si Zaldico? Si Don Gonzales? Si Delipe? Naku, leadership yung mga yan eh.
like to refer to one press conference you had that was a bit strange because you were speaking to someone from the DPWH and you were saying your source was the DPWH, and then the following day you denied. Were you protecting Yusek Cabral at that time? What was?
The person who called me was a new appointee of the DPWH on the instruction of Secretary Dizon, which was confirmed by Secretary Dizon, and that was because I worked with them to confirm also that there were two appointees who were themselves contractors who were brought in by an undersecretary who was connected to Congressman Gardiola. And that's a totally different episode than the file from Secretary Cabral, but from that you can see that I've been quoting it to the DPWH.
Right, but why are you zeroing in on Gardiola, and I mean if there are many names in that list?
Well, that's a very valid question, and while it would be interesting to work on a lot else, Gardiola is the one that has projects in my district who I have personal experience with offering projects to me, and is still the largest by contract amount among congressmen contractors. And the others on the list who have bigger allocations are not necessarily congressmen contractors anymore, and they don't have projects in my district that I can.
So why not publicize the entire list?
Because I'm waiting for the DPWH to do so, and I think by doing it this way, then it really will beg for them to explain why they're not doing
Pero
so.
September 4 pa to. Ang tagal na.
A very good
December
question.
na ngayon.
I hope media will ask them.
But the onus could be on you as well because you have the list. And Secretary Yusek has passed away. So,
Well, I've never really said what I up to what I have. So maybe they can assume I have everything stretching back many years, and they should release everything.
Okay, lipat na ho tayo dito kay Atty. Salvador Panelo. Pakinggan ho natin ang kanyang mga punto de vista kaugnay sa mga iba't ibang kaganapan ngayon sa ating bansa. Game!
Pero in fairness, Attorney Sala, may pagbabago sa BICAM at nakita natin yung kanilang mga proseso. Pero enough na po ba yun sa inyo, sir? Sa inyong pong pag-aanalisa?
Alam mo, ang tingin ko dyan, it doesn't matter whether you increase or decrease the budget of a particular department. Hindi, sa akin, irrelevant na yun eh. Kasi, i-reduce mo man, kung ganun din ang estilo nila, ninanakaw pa rin. Di ganun din yun. Di ba? Walang
Correct.
pagbabago. So, whether
same,
dagdagan mo yan, bawasan mo yan, kung yung ginagawa nilang pagnanakaw sa pera ng bayan ay nandun pa rin, di ganun din. Yun namang sa PhilHealth, yan ang hindi ko pa rin maintindihan. Hindi pa pwedeng lagyan ng PhilHealth ng pera na galing sa Treasury. Kasi nga gaya na sinasabi natin, yung desisyon ng Korte Suprema na ibalik mo yung 60 billion, hindi dapat manggagaling yon sa kaban ng bayan. Sapagkat yung 60 billion na yon na inilagay mo sa flood control projects, ninakaw na yun eh. So kung ninakaw yon, bakit tayo maglalagay ng 60 billion doon sa ninakaw sa flood control projects? Eh napunta na nga yun sa mga magnanakaw eh. Ninakawan na nga tayo tapos tayo pa mag-reimburse ng ninakaw sa atin. Kaya dapat, di ba sabi ko eh, dapat kunin yung mga nanakaw sa pamamagitan ng pagkumpiska ng mga rerihan ng mga tinuturong nasa likod ng pagnanakaw ng kaban ng bayan. Yung mga na-confiscate na mga sasakyan, bahay, ari-arian, lahat yan. Dapat yun ang ilalagay natin sa doon sa budget
Yun.
para sa serbisyo ng bayan. Hindi yung ilalagay mo yung pera doon sa ninakaw sa'yo.
Opo, pero tingin nyo, Attorney Sal, hindi agad makakapagpapasok ng mga reforma na hinihingi ng taong bayan. Kasi bago lang na napagtuunan itong issue sa flood control this year lang, at this year din niluto yung budget sa 2026. So malamang sa malamang, naiplano na nila itong mga gagawin nila no, sa pambansang pondo bago pa sumabog itong issue sa flood control. Mahirap ba in 1 year magkakapagpapasok agad ng reforma, hustisya para po sa kaban ng bayan? Tingin po ninyo, sir.
Kung nakikita ko lang reforma dyan, buwagin mo ang Kongreso.
Correct.
I-abolish mo na Congress. Kasi nga, yan ang problema ngayon ng buong bansa eh. Sabi nga ni Tony Lopez eh, yan ang pinakamalaking sindikato ng korupsyon sa Pilipinas.
Opo, tsaka sinabi rin ni the late Senator Miram Defensor Santiago na yung hadlang daw sa progress is Congress. Progress, Congress.
Magka-rhyme na magka-rhyme. Eh, naku talaga mga kababayan, literal. Yang pumipigil siya pag-asensyo ng bansa na to, yung mga walang yang magnanakaw at adik dyan sa Malacanang at House of Congress lang pala, sorry. Nadadala tayo eh. Kasi magkakamag-anak naman talaga sila eh. Diba, yung mga adik, kamag-anak nila yung mga congressman dyan sa House of Representatives. Kaya same banana, same banana. Wala akong pagbabago yan. Kung ano yung kabalbalan dyan sa House of Representatives, nanggagaling ulat yan dun sa mga kabuktutan na nangyayari sa Malacanang.
Attorney.
Kaya ako, talagang hanggang ngayon, yun ang aking advokasya. Sa ngayon, hindi dapat karoon ng isang kongreso.
Po, samantala, napagkasunduan ng BICAM na ibalik sa 889 billion ang 2026 budget ng Office of the Vice President alinsunod sa orihinal na panukalan ng Malacanang sa National Expenditure Program matapos mababasa na, attorney, ang ibibigay ng House version nasa 733.1 million lang dahil nga raw sa patuloy na pag-iisnab ni VP Sara sa mga hearing ng House of Representatives. Anong tingin mo, sir? From 733 million House version sa NEP sa 2026 BICAM, ginawa nilang 889 million.
Eh, dapat nga, dagdagan pa nila. Alam naman nilang maraming pinaglalaanan ang Office of the Vice President para sa pagtulong sa bayan. Kasi kung kasama lang yung iba-ibang departamento, wala nangyari. Kasi nga, maliban pa sa makupad, hindi nanakaw pa. At just sa Office of the Vice President, alam natin na ginagawa ni Vice Presidente Inday Sara yung tamang pagtugon sa mga pangangailangan ng mga kababayan natin na hindi natutugunan ng mga ordinaryong departamento ng gobyerno.
Yung,
Muna, gusto kong pag-usapan natin yung nangyari kay Cabral eh.
yan.
Nakakagulat yun ha. Ano ba talaga? Suicide o pinatay?
Naku po.
Ang sabi sa mga report, Attorney Sal, yun daw si Yusek Cabral ay nagpunta raw sa may Cannon Road. Tapos kasama yung kanyang driver, bumaba ng kotse, nagpahatid mga 3:00 ng hapon. Tapos nagpaiwan siya sa driver niya doon sa binagbabaan. Tapos, ang nangyari, mag-aalas 7 na ng gabi, hindi para bumabalik yung amo, si Yusek Cabral. Kaya nagpatulong na sa mga pulis yung driver niya. At doon, nakita yung walang malay na katawan ni Yusek Cabral. Tapos kaninang alas 12, yata ng madaling araw, dineklara na wala ng buhay yung si Yusek Cabral, which is malaki po ang kinalaman niya sa Department of Public Works and Highways dahil sakop niya yung planning section ng DPWH na siyang may susi sa kung sino talaga itong mga nagpapasok ng insertions sa pambansang pondo sa flood control, attorney.
Alam mo, unang-una, alam naman nila na si Yusek Cabral ang maraming alam dahil nasa planning nga siya. Siya ang pwedeng magbigay ang impormasyon kung sino-sino talaga ang nagpasimulo niyan. Sino mga proponente, paano ginawa nilang pagnanakaw.
Yan.
Ang hindi ko maintindihan, knowing this, bakit hindi binigyan na
Oh, medyo choppy dating na itong si Atty. Panelo. Dito na muna si Sir MJ. Sir MJ.
Opo, balikan na natin mamaya si Attorney Salvador Panelo na pag didiskusyon na natin yung nangyari kay Yusek Cabral. Para po sa mga hindi pa nakakaalam ng balita, may natagpuan si Yusek Cabral matapos di umano'y mahulog sa Cannon Road sa Tuba, Benguet kagabi. Sa panayam na sa balita o update mula kay Benguet Chief of Police Major Peter Camsol Jr., batay sa salaysay ng driver, binaybay nila ang Cannon Road papuntang La Union nang magpababa si Cabral dakong alas 3 ng hapon, Attorney Sal. Pinalis umano siya ni Cabral kaya sumaglit muna siya sa isang kalapit na gasolinahan. Pero pagbalik niya, bandang maggagabi na, ay wala pa yung kanyang boss na nagpaiwan doon sa drop site. Biguri niya ito makita sa Ayon Hotel sa Baguio City. Kaya dito na nagpa siya yung driver na mag-report sa Baguio City Police na nagsagawa ng search